despite all the discussions we've had on this subject, and I think the progress maybe that's been made, my personality still hangs on to a belief that somehow humanity will save itself from itself, and will transcend all its negativity and somehow elevate into a higher level of consciousness as a group. And even as I say this, I'm really aware that this is personality fantasies. And
why do you think that?
Why do I think that? Well, it's hope, isn't it? And from a personality level, this reality can be so horrible and there's so much suffering. There's a hope that, against humanity will save itself from itself and won't be suffering. I mean, so my personality doesn't like suffering, doesn't like seeing people suffering. So there's all of these things. If humanity elevates or transcends, obviously I'll be included in there. So there's a selfish thing in there. I'm sure I could think of loads of reasons my personality, finds that a very comforting belief. It's a sort of, rather than waiting for a second coming to come down and wave a magic wand and make it all okay, humanity will, humanity will do it itself, or I don't. There's lots of reasons I think I have that belief.
So the idea that something's going to be made okay. I mean, basically, you are investing in an idea of something outside of you that's going to make everything okay,
rather than being in the okayness of it already.
Well, that's another subject. Is it okay as it is? And of course, on one level, you can say, well, it's not okay as it is. It's not okay that there's terrible wars and there's abuse of children or anyone. Of course, there's lots of things that by the standard of love are not okay.
But I can really hear the duality of okay. Okay is almost already a judgment to duality. There's okay and there's not okay. Whereas from my memory of, the opening I had recently, in that state, I think you'd just say, it is. Okay or not, just it is.
Well, I think it is a kind of migration to the viewpoint of seeing life as it is, without putting on to that what is your emotional needs. Okay? So there can be a feeling of love and wanting people to get on and not hurt each other and everything, first of all. But there can be an emotional kind of superimposition of that onto how things are. And there can be a distraction from that, and there can be a hope that can also be a distraction of hoping this is going to change. But as soon as you start seeing life as it is now, there's an entry into this moment, I would say. And that's surely the starting point. This is how it is now. Now, that's not taking out the idea that things can't be different, that things are always changing and evolving. But what we're really talking about is your investment in the need for it to change, but also that it's invested in something outside of you. So I guess waking up it's a really, we've talked about this, the idea of it being selfish, but it's not searching for an answer out there. It's looking at where this whole show begins and getting to the root of that. So it's a different direction. Instead of going out, it's going in. And I think that's the main kind of response I have to what you said.
Do you think, to strip this question down, or when you strip all that away, I still have a question which is, where you and I would disagree, and I would like to believe it is possible that this could be, become something that people, become interested in, and humanity could shift, just from, looking into these things and becoming more aware. And that's something that, you seem to think the personality by its very nature won't do.
Okay, well, once again, looking at seeing life as it is, I mean, this has been known thousands of years, right? I mean,
and here's me suddenly going, and suddenly humanity's going to reach.
Oh, it's different now, Well, this has always been known, I would say, by a few, and it's always been fought by the many. They killed Socrates, they killed Jesus, they killed, the list goes on. There's many. The point is that there's the opening of this within the group personality of mankind, and there's the suppression of it and the
violent.
Yes, the violent suppression of it in some cases, but also there's just the general background, build a wall around it. We don't want to know about that. Keep that. It's too confronting for the personality, so it is kept in its place. It's kept as a kind of cultic, kind of strange alternative thing.
Isn't it massively ironic, though, that humanity is on some level so desperate for this, and then when you show them it, just so desperately uninterested?
Well, you say humanity is desperate for this, but it's like the personality is not desperate for this. It's the exact opposite of what personality wants. Right.
No, but I always think the personality wants an end to suffering. But you're saying, actually...
Well, it may want an end to suffering, but it doesn't want to end it by the end of its own story being believed in.
Right.
I said this in one of the other videos, that when a waking up happens, there is a feeling of, this is what everyone wants. But they don't actually want it. It's what everyone needs if they are to find stillness and happiness again. But it's not what everyone wants. It's what they want, the idea of this. They want the cartoon version of this, what they think this is, of forever blissful, forever peaceful, forever happy, whatever.
They want it to be done to themselves as well, in a way. I mean, just as I want it to happen to the world or to be done to the world, I think...
Well, I think they want it without the reality of what it is. And the reality of what it is the end of the one that wants it. Do you get that?
Yeah.
So people love the idea of enlightenment, and the whole world of seeking is massive because it offers this idea of a way out of the suffering, right? So one can play in that idea and that yearning and that seeking and that one day in the future, if I'm this enough, if I'm that enough. And all of that is, of course, a distraction from the understanding in this moment that you are already what you seek. So we've come back to kind of your original question. You've projected that large scale on world peace and on if everybody just got this, whereas seeing life as it is, people don't want this. And that's just another distraction. To return to this moment without the future is a very dynamic thing. There is a power in it. There is an energetic power to it. Because it's drained of all the activity of personality.
I'm starting to be able to smell the flavour. It's almost sort of like any desire, any dream or whatever, I suddenly just go, oh, that's the personality subroutine.
Yeah, and that is choiceless awareness, becoming aware of the personality's routines and patterns and its whole show. One day they won't be able to entice you anymore. And you're left in this, where there isn't a potential future where everyone will be happy, therefore I'll be happy. It's a massive distraction.
It's such a personality trait of my own, though. I know, I'm happy if other people are happy. I want to make other people happy. All that, and the wanting again, the desiring, I can really just see its personality.
Yes, but of course, objectively one could say that wanting other people to be happy is obviously, it's a beautiful thing and it comes from love. So it could be just that. But you're observing and finding the fact that, well, no. So if there's no personality involvement, it could be just that. Now, then there would be just a very positive, loving force coming from you towards the world. But you would still have the understanding and the clarity that sees that life is like this. The people don't really want this. Many people you'll meet will be rejecting this in you. Do you see what I mean? There's a personality involvement that we're talking about with you.
I think there's potentially a genuine, it coming from love, that's there. But I know the personality overlay stuff.
I think that's true.
It can give significance. It can, to my life or to and it can look good,
Yeah.
it can be a shield. Oh, he's such a nice person, always wanting to help other people. Can maybe then if I do something hurtful that
It's also part of your self-image, isn't it?
I'm a nice person, I'm a good
Yeah.
person. Yeah.
But the joke is, I mean, you are a loving person, but that part, but the part that comes from needing to be loving or have that self-image isn't. That's something else. Do you know what I mean? It's not loving. It's just a sort of it's just personality play. The love I'm talking about doesn't need to change other people. It allows them to be what they are, and if what they are is not wanting this or not wanting to change, I mean that's surely a different kind of love. Do you know what I mean? That's real acceptance.
Sure. O Lord, please grant me the courage to change the things I can, the serenity to accept the things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful quote, isn't it? That is saying, see life as it is, really.
The wisdom to know the difference is the one, that we see what...
Yeah, and it doesn't discount the fact that love can arise in one's heart that naturally wants to share and help someone or in whatever way. So it doesn't discount that, but it accepts the basic fact of this understanding, which is a big part of it, is seeing life as it is.